On this episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, Tony transforms into a Pokemon and Ethan goes after a shield. We talk about the week's biggest news and answer your question. Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me today, I've got Ethan.
You kind of hesitated there.
Yeah, because for a split second, I was trying to remember, do I say today, this week? I normally say this week. I think I said today. I have no idea what I'm doing.
I think you said today. I don't know.
I did say today, but I think I normally say this week.
Doesn't matter.
But, it's all the same, really. So,
kind of.
Well, we got a little bit of snow here in Tulsa this week.
I just got cold air.
Today, it was like the temperature, the high was like 27 degrees. It didn't get very, very warm today. And we got a dusting of snow. There were some pretty, intensely large flakes, but they didn't last very long, and they melted pretty much as soon as they hit the ground.
Good old warmth of the ground, just melting everything it touches.
Yeah, we got enough for a dusting. It was like in the 60s a couple days ago. Today it was below freezing.
Did y'all have tornado sirens go off or anything?
No, but it rained a lot yesterday.
Okay, I know Stuart said he had tornado alarm or sirens going off in his area.
No,
He's over in Dallas, so
I do know there was some pretty heavy weather in this area, but nothing that came through us that was any kind of severe weather. So it rained a lot, and I had to go out in the rain, and I looked like I jumped in a swimming pool.
okay.
But
That's
I don't carry an umbrella,
and neither do I.
and I had to go to Walmart, and there were no parking spots close. So
Ooh, that's bad.
yeah.
Just parking in front of the building. What are they gonna do? Tow it in the cold rain? Doubt it.
Somebody would.
They'd find a way.
Oh yeah, they would. Uh, so, well, what have you been playing this week?
I played a little game called Pokemon Shield.
Really? Are you just starting it for the first time now?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Started it today. I got to the first big open wild area. I don't know what it's called.
Okay.
So I'm kind of just camping right now, I think, in the game or something. I tried doing one of the raids. Well, I say tried. I successfully finished the raid. But, to me, a raid is, okay, team up with friends or random people
Yeah.
and fight monster. This is turn-based, so it's like, alright, that's fine. I get how this is going to work. It makes me wait 3 minutes for anyone to connect. No one connects. And so it just says, alright, you're going in and we're going to throw some rando NPCs with you.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for them, I would not have survived. But then
Yeah,
again, if I could have just thrown all 6 of my Pokemon out at once, I probably would have beat the floor with a guy right away anyway.
Yeah. I've played about 30 minutes of that game, and I have 4 Pokemon, and I don't think I've gotten nearly as far as you have.
I'm not far at all. I haven't even done the first gym yet.
Like, I just got to the spot where right after you go meet the professor, Professor Magnolia,
Yeah.
as soon as you leave her house, you're supposed to do this, race thing with your rival, your friend, dude,
He says a race. It's really just go the direction he went. That's all it ever is.
That's where I'm at. I haven't done that yet. I haven't gone.
You're like just behind me. It's like go back to the town, get on the train, and that's it.
So,
Because the train has to stop at the wild area because there's a whole bunch of Wooloos? Is that the sheep name? I
Yeah,
think.
that's the sheep.
Apparently, they're all over the train track, so they stopped the train because of that.
Okay.
And so you can see the train in the background in the train station that you're stopped at, and there's Wooloos just running back and forth. It's like, that's adorable.
So the all important question when you play Pokemon is
Which starter did I pick?
which starter did you pick?
Take a guess.
Did you go Score Bunny?
No, I didn't.
Did you go the proper answer and go with Sobble?
I did.
Okay,
I
good.
was like, water type all the way. Let's do this.
Team Sobble.
And don't get me wrong, that bunny's adorable, and I really wanted to pick it, but I was like, I gotta go with Sobble. And luckily, Stuart is gonna. He was working on it for me earlier. He's uh, breeding new ones for me. A new bunny and the monkey. I forget its name as well.
Grookey.
Yeah, so he's breeding. Got two of those being bred for me right now. So I'll have all three fairly quickly.
Okay.
And I've also obtained a Meowth from the mystery gift thing. A whole bunch of different types of Pokeballs. There's like 9 different codes you can put in right now on mystery gift.
Really? Yeah, you've gotten a lot further than I have then.
No,
Or
as
you've
soon as
gotten a
I
lot
saw,
more.
as soon as I had mystery gift unlocked, I went and got the codes for everything I could get.
Yeah.
And then I spent. The reason I'm not further is because I talked to someone, an NPC at the train station I got stopped at, I think. Yeah, and he gave me Eevee for my Let's Go journey that I've had,
Okay.
and I don't have Let's Go Pikachu, so I didn't get a Pikachu, so
So
made
yeah,
some
I was gonna
phone
say
calls, got Izzy to drop his copy off for me earlier, and I gave him my Let's Go Eevee copy. So he's getting an EV8, and I've already gotten a Pikachu.
so I'm guessing I've got Let's Go Pikachu on mine, so I'd get a Pikachu if I talked to that guy.
You'd have to talk to the girl for the Pikachu.
Oh.
And then apparently their dad's sitting over there on the things like, I don't understand what they're doing. I don't get this. What is Let's Go? Like, yeah, that's a pretty good thing to ask. I can't be mad at that.
I really need to go back and finish Let's Go Pikachu. I've made it past uh the Team Rocket stuff where you have to go to their base. Think I'm 4 badges into that game,
I think I'm
maybe?
2 badges into the one I played. Maybe 3? I've beaten Red so many times. I just don't. I don't know. It's like I started playing it for nostalgia, and then I was like, yeah, whatever.
No, like I really like Let's Go Pikachu.
Yeah, it's adorable.
Uh,
It's just I've done the story so many times though.
yeah,
It's different, and I'm playing a different character, but yeah.
I'm far from a hardcore Pokemon fan. Uh, so I really enjoyed it. I liked the look of it. I liked I would have liked more, actual Pokemon battles in there than just trainer battles.
Exactly. That's what one of the things that just it's so different, and I didn't like it.
I think that's the only thing that I really kind of miss from that because a lot of that stuff is just it's boring, tedious work. But
But so was
getting to do the
grinding
trainer
out fighting monsters with other monsters.
that's true. There's a fine balance there somewhere. Um,
That is
and I
very
don't
true.
maybe somewhere in the middle of those two things would be okay.
Like
Like I
occasionally
would
you go to like a wildlife park on there, and you have to do it. That's how you would catch them at the uh oh geez, the Safari Zone, the original one. That's kind of what you had to do.
yeah.
Instead, they just turned the whole game into a Safari Zone, and it's like, no, that's not what we want.
Like I imagine we'll probably see more Let's Go games at some point. I think Nintendo was pretty happy with the sales of those first two.
Let's
Um,
go Ho or Ho and let's go Lugia. I don't know. I was picking the
yeah,
mascots from the other games.
I don't know what Pokemon they choose for that because I don't think you go back to the Let's Go Pikachu again.
No, but if you could take your Pikachu's data over, that would be pretty cool.
Well, yeah, I would think you would
Or
have
something
to.
would carry over. That would be interesting.
Yeah. So I got my Pikachu decked out in some Team Rocket clothes.
I
So
think I had Eevee in some kind of trainer clothes. I forget what it was, and then I had my character in the Eevee clothes. So it's like reverse roles here.
yeah, the Eevee is training you.
In
So
Soviet Russia. There we go.
so well, back to shields.
Yes, we're protecting the planet and keeping the Avengers away from having to do all the work.
No, not that shield.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I haven't done, like I said, I haven't done too much on there, but I've done a raid, so I'm gonna put some time into it, see what I think, and I think I said last week or the week before last, I have a copy of not Shield, Sword. So I kind of want to see if I can, like, if I got another Switch, if I could link one controller up to both systems.
Do you want to play both of them at the same time?
Yes.
Hmm.
That way I can just get done a lot quicker. That way it's like instead of just wasting all my time playing one then playing the other, I can just dual play the game at once.
Yeah. We're going to talk about Pokemon a little later in the news. But I think maybe it's about time to think about dropping the double releases for these games. And
Maybe
I
I can
I
kind of
have
see that. Yeah.
I have a couple reasons why. We'll talk about it a little more in the news.
Honestly, it should probably just be like a single release, and then what you're picking on the title screen determines the version of that you're actually playing.
Yeah, well, exactly. Fire Emblem did that with
Three
uh
Houses?
no, the DS game. Um oh, I don't remember. The one that had three different versions of it.
Oh,
You would
the what second to last game that just released?
yeah.
Oh gosh,
But with that one you would actually it would,
it was like
you would play
downloadable, wasn't it?
you play through the game and then you choose basically which version of the game you wanted to play. And you were then locked into that. You'd have to buy it again to get the other version. But um, that was kind of a neat way to do that. Uh, but I think maybe it's time to get rid of that. And we'll discuss why during the news because I don't want to
Okay,
spoil the news section right now. But
okay. Well, what have you been playing, Tony?
I have been playing Pokemon as well.
Really?
Yes. But not that. I mean, I did play a little bit of that, like 30 minutes of it, but no, there was a demo that dropped this week after that big Pokemon Direct that we'll talk about in the news for Pokemon Mystery Dungeon,
Ooh.
and I downloaded that the second I could because I like the Mystery Dungeon games more than the mainline Pokemon games. Um, so that probably makes me a weirdo, but I don't care. Uh,
I
I
mean, some people like roguelikes better than others, so
I really like roguelike dungeon crawlers. They're a lot of fun. And I have played two or three now different mystery dungeon games on the DS, the 3DS, and now the Switch. And this is a remake of the first mystery dungeon game.
oh,
Uh,
okay.
it's Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX is what they're calling it.
Show notes say Pokemon Mystery Dungeon 64.
Yeah, I didn't type the 64. I think you added that after I got done.
You never filled yours in, so I did.
Oh, did I not?
It was blank, completely
Oh,
blank.
okay. I thought I had put Pokemon Mystery Dungeon in there.
So I assumed Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. So I was like, well, I don't know which version it is he's playing. So
I am playing the demo for the remake of the original.
He has not played the other 63 versions, just this one.
Just the 64th. No, so if for anybody that doesn't know what these are roguelike dungeon crawlers. They're not traditional RPGs like the Pokemon games. Instead, what happens is when you start the game, you fill out this little survey basically. In game, it's this like celestial spirit thing that's talking to you, and after you answer the half a dozen questions they have for you, your answers determine which Pokemon it gives you. And there's like 12 or 13 different Pokemon that are options.
Hmm.
Um, I always try to answer so that I can get Squirtle, and it never works. I have never properly gotten Squirtle without looking up like a fact for how you should answer the questions to properly get it.
To curve your points towards Squirtle.
Yeah. So with this one, I answered all the questions, and I got turned into a Skitty.
Oh no.
So yeah, I'm a little pink cat running around.
I mean, it'd be
Uh,
one thing if you're turned into a Litten, but a Skitty?
I am a Skitty. Yeah. So when the game starts, you get turned into a Pokemon. You wake up on this island, and your partner Pokemon that you choose then wakes you up. So after you answer the survey, you get your Pokemon given to you for the what you're going to turn into. You then get to pick any of the others to be your partner Pokemon. So of course, because I didn't get Squirtle, I chose Squirtle as my partner Pokemon.
Okay.
Uh, so
It's about
Skitty,
next best thing, right?
exactly. Um, and then from there, you hear a Butterfree, I think, scream an exclamation, and you run over to the Butterfree, and you find out that uh, their baby Caterpie has gone into this cave and has gotten lost and can't get out. So
No.
you and your partner Pokemon then head over to the cave, and at that point, the actual game starts, and it drops you into this dungeon, this cave, and you have to explore the cave to find the Caterpie, which I think is on like the fourth level of the basement, or the fourth level down from the ground floor. And so it randomizes every time you go in, so each time it's different. You're never going to play the same dungeon twice. It's just not possible. Um,
It might be possible.
it might be possible. I guess mathematically there is a possibility that you could run into the exact same dungeon a second time. Uh, Highly unlikely, but I guess possible. And so what happens is every time your Pokemon moves, everything else in the environment then takes a turn all at once. So you'll move, everything else will move, and nothing happens until you actually move your Pokemon one space. Um,
I think the first game I've ever experienced that did something like that was oh geez, it was something the Unemployed Ninja on DS.
I know what game you're talking about, but I don't remember what it was.
Oh no, it's bugging me what the game is.
Was it Sheeran something?
Azuna.
Azuna, yeah, that's it.
I think that was my
Um,
first experience with the roguelikes in that style as well.
so, and then if you happen to walk into a space next to a wild Pokemon, you can then fight it. It doesn't do the traditional fighting thing. It's not doing that. What happens is each of the face buttons is a different move. Each Pokemon knows four moves. Um, just hitting the A button will randomize that, and it'll just do a random move every time. Or you can hold the L button and choose one of the face buttons to do specific moves. So if you see a Pokemon that's weak to a particular move, you want to make sure you do that. Hold down the button, the left trigger, or ZL, and then you can pick the move you want to do. Otherwise, it's just going to randomly pick one for you.
Hmm.
And most moves will only affect one square around you, but there are some ranged attacks that it will say affects two squares, or will hit three squares away, or stuff like that. Um, and then once you've defeated that Pokemon, you can continue to move on. Other Pokemon, while you're fighting, every time you do a move, That's the same thing as moving a square in the dungeon. And so other Pokemon that are in the area could come and join the fight, and you could, if you're not careful, get completely surrounded by a whole lot of Pokemon in the dungeon, uh, and be in a really bad situation.
Sounds like a roguelike.
But then also there will be other things that are just randomly on the ground. There'll be money or berries or other small items that you can find. So you'll want to collect everything you possibly can while you're in the dungeon. And then once you clear out one floor, there'll be a staircase to the next floor. You do the same thing until you get to the floor where the mission that you're trying to complete is. This first one is on like the fourth floor, like I said, so you have to go 4 floors down. And as soon as you get on that floor, there'll be a little cutscene showing you that the object or the Pokemon that you're trying to find in that dungeon is on that floor.
Okay.
And then you fight through the dungeon, and it will just be somewhere. It might be in the same room that you go down to. When you enter that floor, it might be in that room, or it might be somewhere on the complete other side of the floor of the dungeon. So that also gets randomized, so you never know where you're going to be. And sometimes you'll get down, you'll have to go 9 or 10 floors down, and you get all the way down there, and you're like, please let the thing I'm looking for be right there next to the staircase when I get there, because I'm about to die, and I have
Yes.
no healing items.
A
So then
feeling I know very well.
you get down there, you find the thing, and once you've found the Pokemon or whatever it is you're looking for, you can then exit the dungeon and get your reward for that particular mission, and then the story. If you die while you're in the dungeon, you lose everything that you're carrying. So, things like experience and stuff like that you'll keep that, but any items that you're actually carrying, any money that you're actually carrying, if you die, it's gone. So, luckily, if you're on the surface, there are Pokemon that you can go to a Pokemon and give them all your money, so that if you've collected a lot of money and you don't want to lose it, make sure you drop it off before you go into the dungeon. Or if there are any particular items that you don't want to lose while you're down there, there's another Pokemon that will store everything that you have. And then you just go down into the dungeon with the things you know that you're going to need, and then try to complete the mission. So, I absolutely adore the Mystery Dungeon games. I think they're incredibly well done roguelikes that are filled with charm. You don't have to worry about trying to collect them all, because that's not the point of the game. And so
It's
they're
to enjoy being a Pokemon and saving
it is.
other
You,
Pokemon.
you you get to be a Pokemon this time instead of collecting the Pokemon. And the art style for this that they've chosen for this game is really adorable. It's like, like Winnie the Pooh children's storybooks.
Oh gosh,
It has
yes.
it has that art style, not like the old school Winnie the Pooh things that are, um, much, really simple drawings.
I'm still not a fan of either one.
They're more modern Winnie the Pooh books in that style. It's sort of watercolor, with a lot of lines on things for detail. It really looks good. The one thing that's a little weird is that, how in some cartoons, if a character has like a really detailed pattern on their clothing or whatever, uh, you can tell that there's a layer below the actual clothing, and they've just cut out a hole where that is, and so as the character moves, the pattern on their clothing moves.
Hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
I, 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 like they move and the pattern moves like it's static behind it.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I used to know what that's called and I can't think of it, but it's
that's
always bugged me.
that's how all the detail on the actual Pokemon models is.
Oh,
So like every time you see Squirtle sort of, moving up and down with his breathing or whatever, You can see the entire pattern
It's
on
like
like
his
his
skin
stomach.
doesn't move.
Yeah, exactly. So all of the textures on him is moving or is staying still while the character model is moving. It's a really weird look, but everything else around it is really charming. Um, it's a little bit distracting though to see that those textures on the actual Pokemon models moving. But the game they announced comes out, unfortunately, right around the time that Animal Crossing comes out. So
Was that March or April?
it's March.
March.
They couldn't have picked a worse release time for a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game.
I guess they're
Um,
just not thinking too highly of it because it's just a re-release, right?
or they're thinking, I don't know, maybe it's going to be a budget title. I don't know, maybe it's like
That's the other
$40
option.
game,
Yeah.
um, or something like that. I would think you'd want to put it a few weeks away from Animal Crossing. You're not going to want to put anything out around Animal Crossing because if people have a Switch, the month that Animal Crossing comes out, that's all they're going to be buying. So
Yeah, it's gonna be such a busy month. And
let
then
me
the
see
month
if I can
after that, oh man.
let me see if I can find the actual release date.
Did I ever get
Uh,
Zuna #2?
oh, so it is 2 weeks before Pokemon, so it's coming out a little bit before. Maybe that's the thing that'll get people to pick it up. It comes out on March 6th.
Yeah, because Animal Crossing's really not for everyone, I guess. So.
So I know, unfortunately, if I have to choose between Pokemon Mystery Dungeon and Animal Crossing, I'm probably going to choose Animal Crossing.
It's
As
like
much as
it's
as
like
much
I
as I
get
like that Pokemon game.
it's like I get like 1 week of joy from the Animal Crossing games, really, and then I just kind of fall off on there. Whereas like you guys, like the original Nintendo Oki people, y'all go nuts on that stuff. I was like, oh
Yeah, we
gosh.
we played for months. Uh, so the only thing I'm really not looking forward to in this is that every character doesn't have their own village if you're all playing on the same Switch.
Hmm.
So at least that's the way I have heard and the way I understand it is that everybody on the system will live in the same village basically,
Okay.
which means I'm going to have a lot of fights between children about chopping down trees and stealing all the fruit. So we're going to have to come up with some rules on who gets what resources in the game.
Reminds me of playing the original Animal Crossing. I had two sisters who also wanted to play my video games. Yes, mine, not theirs, because they didn't have their own. And I'm still very bitter about the uh, my little sister. The only rule she was given was not to finish any of the collections, and I had one fossil left. She got it and turned it in.
Really?
So there's like a gold statue of her in the middle of my town.
Oh man.
Like, nope, that's going away. In fact, I never even saw it. I just never went back to the game. I was just that mad.
I can understand.
Oh, so much work went into that.
So, well, that is what I have been playing this week. So let's take a quick break, and then we will come back and we will talk about the news. So, Ethan, Platinum Games, you've heard of them, right?
Good company. Love it.
They make those Bayonetta games and
Metal Gear
the
Rising
Metal,
Revengeance.
yeah,
Oh man.
that game.
Like,
The really good Transformers game
I have that and never played it.
is so good. You should play it.
I know I should.
Um, they were bought this week.
No.
It was not Nintendo.
Darn it. Was it Sony?
unfortunately. No, no, it's none of the big
Microsoft?
three.
Okay, so not okay.
So you would think if any of them were going to buy it, their relationship with Nintendo would have meant maybe they would have had a shot. But no,
See, the ranking would be Nintendo, then Sony, and then Microsoft,
I think you're probably right. But no, they were bought
and then
in
Activision, and the Activision would have to just ruin it all.
please don't. Uh, I really like the stuff Platinum Games make. I don't want them to be making Call of Duty. So no, they were bought by Tencent.
I've heard of this company. Yes,
That is the Chinese company that's buying like everything.
they're not going to be happy until they own every video game in the world
I guess they
and
were they
force it onto mobile.
were they technically bought or did just part of
They're doing their best to own like some level of anything and everything
yeah.
that's game related.
Basically Platinum Games said that this will allow them to stay independent.
Yeah, because this is more of a partnership rather than
Yeah.
an ownership. But
Uh,
let's be honest, they own Platinum now.
Tencent basically bought a stake in Platinum, not the entire company.
They're buying their
Um,
trust, and then they're going to crush them under the weight.
Hopefully, this does not mean that the next Platinum Games is just filled with microtransactions and
No, no, Platinum's
everything
better
like that.
than that. They know what they're. It depends on the microtransactions.
Yeah. So,
What? I
uh,
can have Metal Gear Rising music in every game now? Just throw the wallet at the game console.
basically, though, what Platinum wanted to do was be able to stay independent and then really explore the idea of self-publishing and not have to get a major publisher to come in and take a large portion of the money
Yeah, because
because
they've got a lot of games that they're wanting to get made, and they just can't really do it because they need funding to do what they need.
yeah,
And
so this is a nice influx of money to help them be able to make the games they want and release them themselves.
I'm gonna send in an application to work for Platinum Games.
So I don't know. I know they're working on a few games, but outside of Bayonetta 3, that's the I don't remember any of the other titles.
Uh, why am I suddenly drawing a blank?
Yeah, I am too. I can't remember any of the other games that Platinum is
Oh,
currently working
oh,
on.
Mad World?
Are they doing another Mad World?
No, but they did. I think they did both games in that series or whatever.
Yeah, they were the
Uh,
developers.
Whatever it is they're working on right now is like a new thing that no one's seen before, so that's good. And I don't know what that's called,
So
but Platinum Games. That's gonna be, I mean, fully self-published Platinum game.
that'll be interesting to see.
It's like take your crazy levels and turn them up to 11 now.
Yeah, because Platinum can they can make some insane stuff. So, but they have now partnered with Tencent in a bid to stay independent. CES happened. What was it last weekend?
No, it was like in the middle of the week, I think.
Yeah, it's a like a Monday through
Oh,
Thursday thing. So
yeah. So yeah, the CES Consumer Electronics show, is that what that's for? I forget.
yeah, yeah. This is not like specifically video game. This is computers, TVs. Uh,
Everything that's electronic
if it's
and
electronic,
awesome.
people are there showing it off. They showed off. I saw some really cool foldable TVs, some TVs that were foldable and curved.
Some new
Uh,
phones, probably.
a bunch of new phones, new foldable not laptops, but they're like the size of laptops, but they're still technically tablets. Um, but the screen completely, you know,
Foldable.
ran up and down the entire thing. So yeah, the screen was foldable. It was really interesting to see. I would not want to use that as a laptop. I'd have to attach a keyboard to it because I'm not to the point where I want to start tapping on a screen to type out anything like that.
I just want a telepathic link where I can make it do what I want at the mere thought.
Well, I mean, technically, you can already do voice. You know,
Yeah,
you can do text
I don't want to
or
talk.
speech to text. You just want to think it and make it show up on the
I've
screen.
gotten so lazy. I don't want to say words.
But had
Yes.
Sony had an announcement at CES. They were
There were
gonna,
rumors that Sony was going to show off something PS5 related.
and they did.
Yep, everyone was all hyped for the event. I caught it right at the start of their conference. Uh, and it's like, all right, they're going to show off the actual PS. I'm so hyped, I'm choking. Oh gosh.
Please don't die over the PS5 announcement.
I just might. It was just so great. You know what? I'm gonna take a quick drink. Cover for me.
Okay. All right. So during this event, Sony showed off not the PS5, but
No
we did get the official unveiling of the PlayStation 5 logo.
logo.
And you know what? It looks exactly like the last ones they've been using since like the PlayStation 2.
PlayStation 2 was more angular, not angular. Well, I guess more hard lined on there.
It was.
This one, it's the exact same as the PS4
This is the
logo.
PS3 and PS4 and PS5 all basically use the same
Yeah,
logo.
and they made a big deal out of showing off a logo.
Which nobody is surprised by the logo they showed off.
I like that someone took the PS2 logo and just flipped the two around since it's just a it could easily look like a 5 when you flip it over, and they showed
Yeah.
that. So I was like, yeah, I'm good with that. I would have been great if they showed that instead.
Yeah. I actually really like this logo. I'm glad they're doing this. There's a consistency with PlayStation that you don't get with the other companies. Um, when it comes to their video game consoles, you know what the next one's going to be, and it breeds familiarity. So if people are looking for something, they when they see that logo, they know exactly what they're going to get.
Right.
Um, I'm actually really glad they keep this consistency with their stuff and they don't go crazy with the logos. Granted, hyping up the reveal for a PlayStation logo is not that big a deal. You shouldn't be hyping up a logo reveal that big. Um,
I mean, these were the big wigs there to talk about everything electronic, so there wasn't really much hype as much as we're hyping it up with
yeah.
the hype. Hype,
Um,
hype, 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 hype.
I'm really looking forward to the actual unveiling of the PlayStation 5. We know what Series X looks like. We know, Switch is not going anywhere, though there are rumors that there's going to be a new Switch released later this year. Those rumors are persistent. They've been like that for 2 years now.
They haven't been too wrong either. I mean, other than the Pro thing that didn't happen, but a Mini did.
Yeah, so they're talking a new Pro type Switch for later this year. I don't know that that's actually going to happen. We'll see. But I really now want to see what the PlayStation 5 looks like. We've seen those dev kits out there, and I don't think that's what the PlayStation
If those dev kits are real.
if they're real. I really don't think that's what it's going to look like. I actually don't mind it that much. I wouldn't be upset. I know it's really weird looking. But
No, I'm actually fine with it. It looks like it's got like massive cooling power built that way.
it does. It looks like the entire top of it is basically just designed for cooling. The thing I want more than anything from a PlayStation 5, though, is silence. Like,
That
I want.
that is asking the best thing ever, but it might be asking too much.
I just want something. Excuse me.
I'm sure they've considered it after PS3 and PS4 reports of just jet engines being
My
in
PlayStation
development.
4 is so loud, and I clean it a lot, and it doesn't get any quieter. But I still have a launch PS4. Maybe that's the problem.
Occasionally, whenever I clean mine up, my my pro, I have to take off like no, not my pro, my original. Whenever I would clean that up, I would take off like the that glossy panel.
I take the whole cover off of
I would
mine.
like essentially dismantle it and just hose that thing down with a can of air,
Hmm.
and it would work wonders until I had to do it again. So it's really helpful cleaning those things out.
Yeah, every time I've done it though, it's like a day or two, and then it's back to sounding like a jet engine. So that's the one thing I really, really want from a new PlayStation is a quieter system. But we'll
Maybe
see.
one of these days.
We'll see. But yeah, the PlayStation 5 logo has been revealed. It's exactly what everybody expected it would probably look like, and I'm okay with it. I don't mind. Uh, I don't even know what to do with the next story. You'll have to take that one with Doki Doki Literature Club.
Doki Doki Literature Club, is a free game on Steam that's designed to look like a Japanese dating sim.
Mm-hmm.
So Dan whatever, from Team Salvato. I mean, go figure. His name's in the company name there. Uh, he went to Twitter, and I'm just gonna read it word for word. He said, "This will be the year I reclaim my happiness, so I can deliver it to others. My goal is to fully return to doing things I enjoy, such as making games. First releasing new DDLC content, not a sequel. So, I guess I should finish reading. Then blowing the dust off my next original VM, which has been on hold for 2 years. So he's gonna give us more content for Doki Doki Literature Club. So that's gonna be great. To return to the maddening world of literature in that game. And then he was kind of using Doki Doki Literature Club as like a attempt to build hype. Jeez, thank you GDQ for that. To build uh, interest in this other game he's been working on, and there's even hints at it and little bits of plot here and there in Doki
Mm-hmm.
Doki Literature Club for his other game. So whatever this new content's gonna be, it's like, is this gonna bring us more information for this? What's going on? So, uh, it's been the game came out in 2017, so this is gonna be really interesting to data mine more of this game for,
Yeah.
and literally data mining because in order to even beat Doki Doki Literature Club like the proper way, you have to go into the game files and delete a character out.
That is so weird.
It's really amazing. And then you can actually open up their files and grab their character data, convert it over to other things. Like some of them get converted to sound files, and you run the sound files through what is it called, a spectrometer or spectrograph or something, and it turns it
Yeah.
into an image with a QR code. And others are just regular images that you just turn them into images right away. So I mean, it's just really interesting. All these little hidden things that he puts in there, and the game actually adds files and deletes them while it's playing as well. So there's just all kinds of neat Easter eggs in this game.
Yeah.
And what more can he add in there? I don't know, but oh my gosh.
I know there's going to be a lot of people that are looking forward to it.
Yes, yes, there is, and I expect like at least 3 game theory videos on that.
At least. Uh,
Whenever he's not too busy covering Five Nights at Freddy's.
or Mario.
He covers those on occasion, I guess.
So, well, Doki Doki Literature Club is not the only game that is getting DLC soon.
Ooh.
Wargroove is also getting some DLC.
Oh. Okay.
It's called the Double Trouble expansion. It will be out not too long from now. Um, but it will add a new story campaign, a new faction called the Outlaws
Hmm.
that comes with 3 new commanders. One of them is named Wolfar, who has a giant hammer.
He
And
throws
then,
wolves from afar. Got it.
yeah, exactly. Uh, a set of twins named Orla and Errol, and then a character who uses a whip as an attack named Vesper. Um,
Hmm.
it will also add 2 new units to the game, thieves and riflemen, as well as a new location that is set on a volcano that you can use for creating your own campaigns as well. They will also, there's going to be some changes to the online system that will make it easier for players to get into matches and allow you to host your own matches and campaigns with both friends and random people online. So this new DLC for Wargroove though will be completely free. You have the game, you'll be able to get it, no questions asked. Just download it. Um,
Okay.
I'll be playing that because I love Wargroove. That is a great game. Let's see. Also,
I think you kept trying to get me to play Wargroove, and I kept meaning to, just never got around to it.
it's so good. Like if you like Fire Emblem or more importantly, Advance Wars, it's a game you will, I think, absolutely love. So, but Wargroove isn't the only game that's getting extra content
Oh no.
because Nintendo held a Nintendo Direct this week, not for any new games, but they announced that they would be holding a Pokemon Nintendo Direct, which I thought was a little weird because
They
it's
just released a Pokemon game.
been just about a month since we got a Pokemon game,
Yeah.
right? So it seemed a little early for the announcement of more Pokemon stuff, but we got that announcement of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX that will be
Okay.
out in March in the
Nice.
demo. But we also found out that Sword and Shield are getting an expansion pass
An expansion pass.
with a pretty sizable amount of content, I think.
They're adding like 2 new locations you can go to that are uh one of them was Isle of Armor and Isle of oh geez, I was just looking at it a little bit ago. They're adding 2 new expansion. Well, I guess
The
the
Crown Tundra is the other one.
Crown Tundra. Thank you. And right now you can actually access a very small piece of that content for free by updating your game and going to the very first train station in the game. I forget its name. Even though I just played the game, it starts with a W. And you'll encounter a guy with a top hat and some Pokeballs floating around it, and you can encounter a Slowpoke that wanders into the train station from the Isle of Armor, Armor,
Really?
whatever it's called. Yeah, it looks like a Slowpoke, but he's got like a yellowish, wrinkly forehead thing happening, and
Okay.
it gives you the chance to capture him right away.
So not only though will you have new areas to explore, these expansion passes, and it's broken up into 2 parts. And I think like with most Nintendo expansion passes, you can't buy them separately. You have to buy them as a bundle.
Yes.
And I think the bundle is $30.
Yes.
So, but you get those 2 new areas. You also get a ton of new clothing options, new features that they're going to be talking about in the coming weeks. But
Uh,
then also,
that wasn't one of the new features the addition of like a not the Pokemon Bank, but the Pokemon Bank.
Pokemon Home.
Another way for them to get your money by selling you the same thing they've sold you twice already.
So, um, but in addition to all that stuff, they're actually going to be adding 200 Pokemon into the game as well.
Oh joy!
These are not 200 new Pokemon. These are returning Pokemon from previous games.
And people are still going to be irate over that.
They are. A lot of people online have already been
And they don't even know
talking.
what's getting released. They're just like, oh, I'm not getting my favorite Pokemon. How dare you?
So rather than getting a third game, like has been something that's happened in the past, or pseudo sequels like Black Two, White Two, or Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, that type of thing. They're doing this $30 expansion pass, which is essentially half the price of a new game, but you're getting almost a new game's worth of content.
Man, that Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon thing, that was just really weird the way they went about that release. Because it was like, what, 6 months after the game came out, right?
Hmm.
And it's like the same game with just added content, but as a sequel, kind of, but not. I didn't know what to make of it, so I didn't even touch it. I was mad.
Uh, but also, one of the things they talked about was that if any Pokemon that you have from previous games are part of the 200 that are going to be released, you can actually bring your older Pokemon from other games
Ooh,
into this through Pokemon Home.
okay.
So, and Pokemon Home is supposed to come out in February. Trying to remember exactly which games it works with. The Let's Go games, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Sun and Moon, uh, maybe I don't remember. Um, but any Pokemon that you have, if they're part of that group that's going to be coming, if you already have them, you can bring them from previous games by transferring them through Pokemon Home. So
Okay.
I think that's really good. I'm glad you're going to be able to do that. Pokemon Home is $5.
It's not bad.
Not bad at all. So yeah, let's see. Okay, here you go. What games is it compatible with? Pokemon Home is compatible with Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, Sword Shield, Pokemon Go, uh, and every game that's compatible with Pokemon Bank. So that's Black and White 2, Red and Blue, Yellow and Gold, Silver and Crystal, X and Y, Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby, Sun and Moon, and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Jeez, that's still a lot of games.
Yeah. So, uh, I'm trying to. I saw when the expansion pack stuff is coming out. The first bit of the expansion pack will be out in June. That is the Isle of Armor, which comes with a new area, some new Pokemon. I'm imagining they're going to break up the Pokemon probably 100 and 100, because both of them say that they've got new Pokemon that are going to be added.
Okay.
But yeah, that first part, the Isle of Armor, is out in June, and then the Crown Tundra is out sometime in the fall. But no actual date has been given for that yet. So there you go. But that's why also I think it might be time to get rid of this two game release because you have the ability to do this DLC stuff like you haven't been able to do in the past. Um, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
you can put out one game, do some of the extra or
It it's we're both at a loss of words. I like this.
yeah. But
Thank you, Nintendo and Pokemon Company.
because you have the ability to expand the game in ways you haven't had before, I don't think it's necessary to do two game releases. Or if you want to do the two releases, give people, rather than having to buy two copies of the game, give them some way to get the content from the other game for a fairly inexpensive price, $10, $15, something like that.
It's like understanding the original idea was two different games, but they're the same game. It's just minor differences in like what you could capture here and there. So the idea was to capture whatever you could in this game, find your friend who also has the other versions. Like, hey, I have this. Do you have that? And they're like, yeah, okay, well, let's trade.
Yeah.
So what they need to do is something. They need to rethink it for the more modern day approach. Like you just buy, it's like you just buy the new Pokemon game, and it's like, do you want to be on side A or side B? And it's like, okay, you're on this side now, and this is what you have access to that side other side doesn't, and so you can
Mhm.
cooperate with them. It's it's an easy solution to the problem already, in my opinion.
Yeah. Or do like they did with that Fire Emblem game where you play through a part of the game and then you decide which path you want to take,
That's
basically.
also another way to go about it. Yeah,
Um, and then, of course, that locks you into this content or that content, but give people a way to get that other content if they want without having to seek out someone else, some convoluted way to trade and get all that content from one game into the other one.
which is where Pokemon Bank slash Home comes in, where you upload what you have on one and then give it to yourself on the other.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're charging us money for something that we shouldn't be getting charged for, because we should already have like some free access to that, or our previous point of having access to the Pokemon Bank that we've already paid for before.
So, but
Rage quit.
the Pokemon fans have a lot of new content to look forward to uh, over the next few months.
They need to stand up and fight for their rights right now.
Uh, you have an update on GDQ. How have they done?
As of this exact moment, and that amount keeps going up. Crap. They have $2,520,000, 600. I'm not going to read the rest of that. Yeah, they have
2.5 million,
2.5 million.
basically.
There we go. And it's going up right now. It's almost at, yeah. They just got done with Link to the Past uh, remake on Switch. The guy went a little over his second place world record. But I mean, the crowd looked like they had a good time. They're having their final talk before the final game starts right now, which is Super Metroid Impossible, which is a modded version of Super Metroid, and it is a test in frustration and others, as well as other things, making sure you're good at morph ball mode and some. You just have to see it. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah.
Uh, right now, their goal is to beat SGDQ 2019's limit on what was raised, which was 3.03 million. And I'm pretty sure they'll do it in the 2.5 hours, because they usually beat the record for each previous year by whatever.
Like with most fundraising type marathons, there's a big, rush at the beginning and then there's a big rush at the end for money. So,
Yes. And this year they've been super excited, going all in with Untitled Goose Game
oh man,
references all over the place. Uh,
that goose is everywhere.
they have Sumichu on the couch, and she's holding a little fake goose that they printed up for the event. It's a prize you can win, and they've been playing. Everyone on stage has been playing with that goose on and off the entire event.
Of course.
Uh, they've had several notable runs. Let's see. Uh, the one run. Gosh, suddenly lost the ability to talk. Thank you. Was the one run I was looking forward to was the Destiny 2 Last Wish raid,
Hmm.
and that was actually really good. I saw some stuff I didn't know that could be done. The Taskbot playing Super Mario Brothers 3, Super Mario Brothers 2, and Pokemon Blue was pretty good. The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, they played it on Wii, so I guess that's what, the GameCube version or something.
Uh,
Because that was, it would have to be that, right?
Yeah, well, if it's Wind Waker, it would have to be GameCube.
Yeah, so
It's a remake of the GameCube game.
they finally found a way to do some of the glitches that were only accessible in the HD version on the GameCube version.
Really?
Yes, like getting past the barrier in the underwater
Yeah.
location.
Yeah.
They found a way to do that. It's like an item,
I,
a random item despawn thing. It's really weird. There was hold on, looking forward in the list real quick. Oh, they bring Gato Robo too. I need to watch that. Uh, Tony, fill in for me while I'm looking.
well, I don't know a lot about GDQ, so
Just sing a song, quick.
uh,
Uh,
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
there was a Super Mario Maker 2 run race for 4 versus 4 blind relay. That was pretty good. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past randomizer was really great. It was also including the crowd control ability on there. So people are making small bit donations into a thing to make things happen in there. And Andy was the one running that, so that was just that entire run was just really good to watch.
No.
Yes.
Oh, there's.
Ooh.
This is to go even further beyond. How are you alive? Die! Die! Invert the buttons. Die! Swap the buttons. No.
That's one.
You have to use bits to interact.
Clone Hero, it's a Guitar Hero thing for PC. That speedrunning a Guitar Hero game, that's kind of weird. This one was all about tech, like just the ability to actually play that stuff, and just I recommend watching it because it was just mind blowing how awesome this guy was at that game. Uh, uh, Cadence of Hyrule. Apparently, there was something people really enjoyed the Super Monkey Ball run. I guess I heard about that. There was a Mega Man 4 through 6 relay race. People made a big deal about getting this Animorphs game for Game Boy Color ran. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that rerun apparently because I was at like 2 in the morning. So yeah, there was all kinds of stuff on there, and I don't know what all to talk about that.
Okay, well, people should just go check out the
Uh,
replays. The replays will be up. The event
Yes,
will be over by the time
twitch.tv slash games done quick, I think's what it is.
Yeah. You can also find it on YouTube.
Yes, just type in games done quick, you'll find their YouTube channel. Give them probably like a week or two to get everything uploaded properly. They should definitely have everything uploaded within the week.
Yeah, things are usually about 48 hours after it happens.
Yeah, give or
before
take, depending
it'll be
what
up.
they do. So yeah, go on there and watch. And they have right now. They are about to start Super Metroid Impossible. Oats and Goats is the runner. He's actually introducing his couch people right now, I guess, from the looks of it.
Mm-hmm.
Can't really tell what he's doing, and they're about to hit 3 million. They're at 2.9.
Nice.
So they got 400,000 since I started talking.
Well, that was just your donation.
Yes, my donation was me talking.
So, well, all right. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff I will go back and watch GQ. I never really get a chance to watch it live. I always go back and watch it on replays. So
Yeah,
I will be
I'm
doing that.
usually
over the
sending
next
you
week.
like videos for like Luigi's Mansion or something when they run that.
Yeah, you know if you know the runs I'm really looking forward to, and once they're up, you always send me the links to the ones I should watch. So,
Honestly, you should
All right.
watch like everything they do.
Yeah, that's a lot of watching.
It is. It really, really is.
You know, it's essentially nonstop for a week. So
Oh,
that,
they did like all four, well, five Fallout main games as a run, back to back, one person.
really,
Yeah, so you had one, two, three, uh, New Vegas, and then four.
huh?
Yeah, it was kind of interesting seeing one and two be played.
I imagine. All
Right.
right. Well, there you go. That will be it, though, for the news. We've got some listener feedback this
Oh,
week.
wait, one more thing. Mike Tyson's Punch Out. 2 players, 1 controller, and they were blindfolded.
Dude, blindfolded runs of Punch Out blow my mind. The fact that anybody can do that at all.
And here we have 2 people blindfolded with 1 controller.
That's just crazy.
One's handling the D-pad, the other's
One's doing
handling the other buttons.
One's doing the dodging and the ducking and the dipping and all of that, and the other one's doing the punching.
Okay,
So.
I will not interrupt you again.
All right, well, let's move on
Interrupting.
to listener feedback. And our first one this week comes from Nathan via Facebook, who wants to know, do you have any advice for anyone starting a podcast or a video series of the like? What about starting a website like Procedurally Generated or Nintendo Oki?
I'm going to leave that one to you.
I mean, I guess the biggest thing is just do it. There's plenty of free things out there. When you're website creators, WordPress is what we used to build Nintendo Oki.
That got a little expensive, a little quickly, and very
It
limited
got-
even then.
Especially if you want to host everything on that site, it can get very expensive very quickly. But there are free options if you don't do a lot of like audio uploading, which is what took most of our storage space, and so that got really that added up really quickly trying to make sure we had enough storage space for all the podcasts. But there are plenty of free things you can do on WordPress. If you're not worried about having a specific domain name, I mean, you can pick your name, but it will have like .wordpress.com after it. Domain names are fairly inexpensive, though.
Squarespace was pretty good to use, in my opinion.
Squarespace is pretty good, and it's got a couple of different options for pricing. I mean, it's not free. You have to pay up front, but they do monthly subscriptions, or you can pay for an entire year. And there are multiple different options for Squarespace as well.
And honestly, I thought their pricing was way better compared to WordPress.
It is. I think their pricing and their design is much more versatile. I think actually designing the website itself was much more diverse and
User friendly as well.
User friendly than WordPress was. If you want to start a podcast, just buy a microphone and get Audacity and start talking into the microphone is the best thing you could do.
Like we put ours just on YouTube now, and
yeah, and it doesn't cost anything for hosting on YouTube.
It's like how Rhett and Link got started with a Good Mythical Morning. They just like, let's do it, and they did.
Yeah.
It's like, it didn't really cost them anything. Now they make money.
Yeah. So, there are places you can host an actual podcast. Some of them are fairly inexpensive. Some of them are going to be pretty pricey. Getting it onto places like the iTunes Store, the Google Play Store, there's a little bit of work that's involved in that. We never got. We had tons of problems getting Procedurally Generated to try to get that into the iTunes Store, and we eventually
Gave up, yeah.
And everything is hosted on YouTube.
Yeah, thanks, iTunes.
So, I mean, the best thing to do is just get out there and try something.
Probably should have just kept uploading on Nintendo Oki with just a different episode name of PG.
That's an option. We can we can talk about.
It's like I
those
somehow got
options
into
later.
work for Data Drain when I uploaded that last episode.
Yeah.
And-
if you have some place if we had some place that we could host the actual file, everything could go right back. You know, the Nintendo Oki feed is still live, so podcasts could go there in a pinch if we really needed it. But that's not. We'll talk about that later.
Well, we might revisit that idea one of these days.
Exactly. But we also had a question of the week for you guys, and my question on the Facebook group was, what video game world would you like to live in? And Nathan said, I can't think of a game world I'd really like to live in, but I would certainly like visiting some, like the Mushroom Kingdom or Dreamland, or even some incredibly dangerous ones like Half-Life 2's world.
Dreamland? That's where little Nemo lives.
He does.
I don't think that's the one he's talking about, but that's what I'm talking about.
I'm surprised he didn't say something like Green Hill Zone.
No one wants to live in Green Hill Zone.
No Sonic mention at all in his where do I want to live.
He's going to at you for that one now.
Ben via Facebook says that he'd like to live in either Azeroth or the Pokemon universe.
Both of those are valid points. The downside to Azeroth is every time they have a cataclysmic event.
Well, they'll eventually just reboot the world and it starts all over.
Yeah, something like that usually happens.
Seth via Facebook says he'd like to live in the Resident Evil universe.
More power to you, man.
I don't want anything to do with the Resident Evil universe.
Did you see what happened in New York in RE6? No. Yeah, 6.
I mean, I personally haven't. Oh, the movie?
No, the video game.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the movie.
The zombies had an act. They broke. There's a zombie outbreak worldwide or something on there. It's bad.
Okay, yeah, I thought you were talking about the movies because the end of Resident Evil 5 has the crew of the Resident Evil gang.
Maybe you're
in Washington D.C. and
maybe it was Washington in RE6, and like the entire city's just getting overrun, and you're I think you're playing as do you play as Leon or Chris? I think it's Leon that you play as in that one, and you're just you and your partner are just fighting your way through the city trying to get something done, and just fight all these zombies in the way, and it's like, man, this is like Raccoon City all over again, but bad.
Yeah.
Because it's like a major city instead of just Raccoon City.
Well, I will let him live in the Resident Evil universe and have to deal with the zombies. I'm gonna live someplace safer.
Be over here in Green Hill Zone.
I'm gonna go live on an Animal Crossing village, just not Shannon's Animal Crossing.
I was about to say.
Not Shannon's Animal Crossing.
He's gonna kick you out for not being a cat.
Cole via Facebook had a couple questions for us. Are we ever gonna get back to doing co-streams? When can we expect the crew to do the first Destiny 2 raid? And why do kids love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Those are very Cole questions.
Yeah.
Co-streams, what does he mean?
Like, when we've done, I'm assuming like things like we've done for the pre-show and some stuff where we play games together and just...
whenever we think about it and come up with a good idea.
Yeah. I've actually been thinking about, some of that with like the Raspberry Pi stuff. We need to find something that's a little more stable than the Raspberry Pi.
Oh yeah,
that didn't work out so well. When can we expect the first Destiny 2 raid? I don't know.
No. Wait. Yeah, you did say first Destiny 2 raid.
Yeah.
I thought you said first Destiny raid. I was like, well, we're going to have to install Destiny 1.
I mean, I do have a copy of Destiny 1 still.
I'm surprised that's not free to play.
Well, Destiny 2 is free to play. They don't want you to do anything with Destiny 1 anymore.
They do not.
And I'm a grown-up, so I don't know why the kids love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So,
but we can make assumptions why.
Probably because it tastes good, maybe.
I don't know about you, but I didn't like cinnamon. I mean, I'd eat it, but I didn't go on my way to get Cinnamon Toast Crunch when I was a kid.
I am not a huge fan of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Like, I'll eat it
I liked
if that's what we have.
I liked Raisin Bran,
Ew.
and I also liked Reese's Puffs.
I was a Cocoa Puffs guy. Um,
Something I haven't had in a very long time that I want to get and try and see if it's any good still is either I think it's Sugar Smacks or Golden Grams or both.
oh, Golden Grams is really good.
Okay, good to know.
Golden Grams is really good. I'm a big fan right now of s'mores cereal, which is basically Golden Grams and Cocoa Puffs in the same bag with
Ooh,
marshmallows.
sounds amazing.
It's so good. So good. Uh, that would, if you ask me what my favorite cereal is, that probably would be my favorite cereal right
Corn
now.
Puffs.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
what.
never a fan of Corn Puffs.
Nope.
Or,
I don't
or
like healthy cereals. Basically, I like all the cereals
Kicks.
that are
Kicks are
with
for kid
sugar.
or yeah, Kix cereal. It's like what
That's
was
tricks.
that?
Tricks are for kids.
No, Kix cereal. It was just it's like take all your cereal or your like your fruit, take your tricks and just make them a ball and then take all the flavor out. That's all it was. Like who would eat this?
Not me. That's who.
Oh, did you read the
Uh,
last thing he said on there?
yeah, I was getting ready to get to that. He
Okay.
said for the question of the week, he'd love to live in the Majora's Mask universe, but only if he had the Ocarina of Time. Yeah, I think if you don't have the Ocarina of Time, you're not going to live there very long.
I don't know. The Majora's Mask universe is like the dark side of what Zelda games are, or what they can be, really.
That's true. I'm hoping we get a little bit of that with Breath of the Wild too.
It should
Like
be.
I don't want him to go full on Majora's Mask. I would not
Oh no,
mind
no, no.
like a darker Zelda game. Not straight up like horror, but a
Did you
darker.
see the concept art for Breath of the Wild or like original designs for things on there?
I've probably seen some of them.
It's horrifying stuff on there. It's like that would be a Majora's Mask of Zelda games right there.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, for me, I would have to live in something like the. I would have to live in like the Animal Crossing world, or
Playing it
uh,
safe.
yeah, I'm playing it very safe. I don't have to unless I'm in Shannon's world. I don't have to worry about anybody trying to kill me. I just get to live my life, pick some fruit, dig up some fossils, and talk to cats. So that doesn't sound like too bad of a life.
I have two different ones that I want to pick from because I don't know which one to pick.
Okay.
And one of those would be Destiny,
Okay.
but
I can see you.
only if I had the Ghost.
Of course.
And the other option, if I couldn't have that one, would be Mass Effect.
Okay. Those are some good choices.
The runner-up would have been Monster Hunter.
I wouldn't mind the Splatoon world. I think that could be
I
interesting.
think that'd be weird.
It would be a little weird, yes.
It'd be a little too happy, colorful, and messy for me.
Well,
I'm watching this guy do a fight trying to kill Kraid.
it can't be done.
He can't do the fast strat, so it's got to be the slow strat.
Oof. Well, all right. I think that will be the show for this week. So thank you, Ethan, for being here.
I'm still watching GDQ.
By this time next week, you won't. Or maybe you will.
I'm starting to fill in the gap with other things like ESA.
All right.
You laugh, but it's true.
If you want to reach out to us, we have new ways to do so. You can email us at procedurallygeneratedent@gmail.com. If you like what we do, you can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/pgent. Patreon supporters get the video version of the podcast a day early. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/progenint. Check out our YouTube channel, and we still have that famous Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.